Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. Listeners get in touch with us all the time on this podcast. Sometimes it's a comment about a story, sometimes they've got feedback, sometimes it's because they're doing something a bit different and want to tell people about it. Today's interview is one of those. Recently, we were contacted by Joel Bell, a former Australian Army engineer, now living and working in North Carolina in the US, also a fan of Fear and Greed for the last 5 years, so we like that. He's a director of BotBuilt. BUTBUILT, BotBuilt, a startup using robots to build houses. Joel joins me this morning from the US. Joel, welcome to Fear and Greed.
Hey Sean, nice to be on the call. Long time listener, first time caller. Is that how we do it?
That's something like that. That'll do. Yeah. Tell me, BotBuilt, what is it exactly?
So BotBuilt is a tech startup based in North Carolina, as you mentioned. We use robots to build homes, and what that means is we rescue automotive robots who used to build cars. We say rescue because we buy them secondhand on eBay. We give them an AI.
Literally?
Literally on eBay. They go out of tolerance for automotive manufacturing. So we buy them, give them an AI-powered brain, and we have them build house frames. So the walls of the house, we use them to build those.
Wow. Okay. And I presume if you've got robotics building the frames, things like tolerances and measurements and stuff like that are pretty spot on.
Yeah. So the way the system works is we first take the PDF floor plan. So you could send me a blueprint today. We have artificial intelligence that we've developed that reads that blueprint, turns it into computer code. So we pick up every dimension, every door, every window, all the ceiling and floor joist layouts. We put that into the AI, which writes the code for the robots to follow. And then the really cool part is that we don't tell the robots how to build the house. We tell them what to build, but the artificial intelligence inside the robots goes ahead and plans all of that all on their own. So there's no human involvement. We joke that all the humans have to do is reload the nail guns, and the robots go ahead and build everything exactly as it's drawn on the plan by the engineer. Very few errors, every nail's perfect, every stud's in exactly the right place, which means that we get a really good result for the homeowner at the end, but also the builder saves time and money. It's a very cool product.
How did you end up, a lot in that. I'm going to go the AI part first, right? So how did you introduce AI into the process to the point that it can actually, the robot can be told by AI what to do and how to build it?
So the first part is the reading of the plan. And if you think about it, that's the really human part. The human part is interpreting what's drawn on the page and turning that into usable code for the robots. So we have a large language model, which everyone would have heard of before, that we've trained. We've processed something like 10 million square feet. I've been in the US so long now, I think in imperial units. So I'm not sure of the comparison for that, but 10 million square feet.
You've still got the accent, Joel. It's okay. You're still one of us.
Yeah. It gets me in a lot of doors in the US, which is great. They love Australians over here. But we've trained our AI on about 10 million square feet of blueprints. And what that means is it recognizes everything that's on the blueprint. So it recognizes a door, it recognizes a dimension, a toilet, cooktop, anything that's on the plan, the AI will read it because that's what we've taught it to do. The next part of the AI is what's called motion planning. So the CTO, Barrett, who's one of the co-founders, he used to work at NASA. He used to build robots for NASA. Right. And then when did his PhD at Duke University over here in North Carolina. And his PhD was all about motion planning, which is where the robots do their own mathematics. So they're intelligent. They plan their own movements based on the shape of the house we've told them to build. So we just stack 2x4 studs up next to them. They go and pick up the wood, place it on the table, cut it, nail it all on their own. And so it's a two-step process there. Reading the plans and then planning their own motions.
So what's the finished product when it leaves BotBuilt's factory? What does it look like?
So you get the wall panels or the wall frames, we call them in Australia.
Yeah.
Very, very common. Almost every house in Australia is built from factory-built wall frames. We'll ship them to site, stand them up, and you get all the benefits of the speed and accuracy on site. Instead of what's very common here is stick building. So you have a team of framers who would just get a pile of lumber and build the house from it. We
Yep.
prefabricate it, so it's much faster and more cost efficient.
Yeah. So how much cheaper is it?
We think we can take just with this product, we can take 10% off the cost of building a house, which is significant. It costs about $500,000 to build a house. Say $50,000, that's a significant saving.
Okay, stay with me, Joel. We'll be back in a minute. My guest this morning is Joel Bell, Director of BotBuilt. I'd like to know how you, Joel, ended up in North Carolina at BotBuilt as a founder of BotBuilt, given that your background is in engineering, but with the military.
Yeah, so I was an Army engineer for a long time. I did that for about 16 years in total. Quit that back in 2023. I then did an MBA at Melbourne Business School. Shout out to MBS. Very good business school for those that are considering doing an MBA. I had the opportunity to do an exchange here in North Carolina at the University of North Carolina. They have a great business school here. Came over here, fell in love with the place. It's a really beautiful part of the world, North Carolina. The people are wonderful. There's a lot of tech development here. It's a real research center, a lot of business going on. It's a real growth area as well. I'd spent a lot of time in the US with the military. I really like Americans and working with them. So I'd been thinking about coming here for a little while. And then, of course, I met a pretty girl, my wonderful girlfriend, Courtney, gave me a real reason to come back. So I found BotBuilt just on LinkedIn, connected with the founders. They were looking for someone like me. At the same time, I was looking for a job, so a business degree and with a background in construction to build out some of this product. So I made a connection, came over here, and now I have a house and a baby on the way. So the Americans are stuck with me for a little while.
Congratulations. Well done. So how big BotBuilt at this point?
We've built 40 houses at this point. So it's not a science experiment anymore, but we are still a startup. So we're on that journey, which has also been really fascinating to observe how that goes. Raising funds, building out the business, finding new customers, getting the product out there, doing the marketing, which is a lot of the stuff that I work on. It's fun. I'm not the robot guy. I get to go out and sell the robots, which is the fun bit.
Yeah.
And I get to talk on podcasts like this about how great the product is. But yeah, we're looking to scale up now. So we've got a product that works. We've got a product that customers really like, and then looking to scale.
So how big can you get?
We see this being in every state in the US and internationally. So we've had some discussions with Australian manufacturers. The product works in Australia because timber is timber. Australian houses are very similar to American houses. There are some differences, obviously, but the fun thing is we can have the AI teach itself how to build an Australian house. So it's just a matter of training it on the Australian building code, and we'll see robots building houses in Australia in the not too distant future is the plan.
So what's the size of the prize? If you've built 40 in an environment in the US where, to be honest, the building environment, and this is just based on James Hardie's share price rather than any particular knowledge, hasn't been great the last couple of years. It really the renovations have been good, but new builds hasn't been great. What's the outlook then? I mean, if you can build homes and be successful in a not so great environment, then plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, one of the things that really struck me moving to the US is just the size of the opportunity. So we haven't seen a drop in new homes in the US, but they're building 1.5 million homes every year in this country. And the vast majority of those are single family built from timber. So very, very big market, very big opportunity. And similar to Australia, where builders have thin margins, it's a tough industry, construction. They're looking to save wherever they can. And home builders want a better product. In order to save money, we've had to cut costs. And I don't think anyone would disagree that the quality of housing in Australia hasn't been improving. And in order to build more houses, we need to innovate. And this is the key here. It works. We're competing in a very strong market, but we're saving builders money and we're saving developers money and giving homeowners a better product.
So it works, saving money. I presume safety is another issue, which when you've got robots doing it rather than individuals, that's probably a benefit there too.
Yeah, so my dad, Mick Bell, shout out Dad, he used to run a wall frame and roof truss plant, and he's been a carpenter his whole life. And his hands tell the story. I like to talk about this. So he's had a number of surgeries on his hands because it's backbreaking work building. It's difficult. You're out in the sun all day. It takes a long time. And it's very manual. And so if we can displace some of that very dangerous work, then that's a benefit there. the phrase we use in robotics is dirty, dull, and dangerous is what robots are good for. And this is definitely in the dull and dangerous bracket. So if we can have robots help out humans, make it faster, improve humans' productivity, then that's a win for everybody.
I got to ask you, Joel, what's your dad think about you doing via robotics what he spent his life labouring on?
It's just another tool. It's the next evolution. My dad did his apprenticeship before power tools, which probably dates him. But he talks about buying his first ever electric drill after he finished his apprenticeship, and it's just the next evolution of that. It's the future. We talk a lot in Australia and across the West. It's a problem here in the US as well. We have an aging population, struggling to get young people to join the trades. There's a labour shortage across the market. The only way to improve that is through automation and robotics. And this is an area that's been severely lacking in innovation in that space for a while.
Well, good luck with it, Joel, and thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Appreciate it, Sean.
That was Joel Bell, Director at BotBuilt. This is the Fear and Greed Business Interview. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed, business news you can use. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.